gotta know if you're gonna stay. You just gotta know. If I can have it any other way. Well, I swear she's destined for the screen. The closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. And they come unstuck, laying there, running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left arm. I love you when you're singing that song, and I get a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Weep for yourself, my man, you'll never be what is in your heart. Weep, little lion man, you're not as brave as you were at the start. Rate yourself and rake yourself and take all the courage you have left. Waste it all on fixing all the problems that you made in your own head. But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? Didn't I, my dear? Tremble for yourself, my man, you know that you've seen all of this before. Tremble, little lion man, you'll never settle any of your scores. Your grace is wasted and your face, your boldness stand alone among the wreck. So learn from your mother, or spend your days biting your own neck. And it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? And it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? And it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? Didn't I, my dear? Where's the boom pole when you need it? Yeah, where's the boom pole? Wrap it round. I feel your head resting heavy on your single bed. I wanna hear all about it, get it all off your chest. I feel the tears and you're not alone. Will I hold you, will I won't let go? Why should we care for what they're selling us anyway? We're so younger, and you know. You don't have to be led, babe. You don't have to be I will catch you.
Well, hey there, everyone. Thanks for hopping over to my channel, and I want to welcome back our guests, Kevin and Kristi. Hey, guys.
Hi.
We're getting so good at this, sadly. You're a little bit soft, Kevin. You'll have to bring those luscious lips closer to the mic.
Well, I often go soft, yes. It's occupational hazard.
Yeah, for me, well, maybe it's because my headphones are off, but one of them was off. But is he quite soft for you, Kristi?
He's very soft.
Yeah, mate.
Okay, I will shout.
All right. I wish I could split your audio, but I can't. You have to share it, so Kev's just going to have to shout. But that's not uncommon. Okay, so I don't really have any idea where this audio is. I've dropped it down to about 50. I'll drop it down a little bit more because I guess I'd rather go up than down. Yeah, and we're just going to pick it up where we left off, right?
Okay.
Okay. And we can't hear her. Why can't... Oh, wait, I have to change the audio location for myself back to where it was before when we started the show. All right, now we should be able to hear her. I will go back a bit. Okay.
How they censored the Confederate flag on the Dukes of Hazzard, and he thinks it's stupid. Really? So it's really important to note that this woman is a Warren supporter. Every campaign makes mistakes. Good people make mistakes. This is one. What? Please denounce this and take down...
Can you hear, Kevin?
I can't hear shit.
Oh, Kristi, can you also not hear anything?
Oh, I don't hear it. Is something happening?
Okay. All right. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. Okay. So the audience could hear. You guys can hear. Okay. So I have to do something else. What I need to do then... Sorry, guys. I'll rewind it. I'm going to have to externally feed the audio through the speaker like I was doing before. So let's try this again. So now she'll be coming back through my mic. Oh, this is a disaster. This is a mess. God, we have to figure out Zoom. Okay. So we're trying again. I have to take off my headphones now a bit to make sure I'm not waking up the neighbors. Here we go.
Relatively tame take from Joe from like 2012, where he talks about how they censored the Confederate flag on the Dukes of Hazzard, and he thinks it's stupid. Really? So it's really important to note that this woman is a Warren supporter. Every campaign makes mistakes. Good people make mistakes. This is one. Please denounce this and take down the video. Transphobic, racist, sexist, white nationalist, xenophobic endorsements should not be accepted, never mind celebrated by leaders of progressive movements. Please. It's been 7 hours. Why is this tweet still up? Every moment it's up, our LGBTQ friends feel unsafe. I set a timer to comment on this post every hour until it is removed.
It's very illuminating that she's not taking on board any of the critique. You know? So, okay, nobody wants to talk, so I guess
you need to click on your own screen, Kristi.
Oh, I need to click on my own screen? What do you mean? There?
So because on your own avatar on the bottom right, so that when we speak, we don't take the screen.
Got it. Okay, this is really complicated, you guys.
Not that complicated. No. It's just we're shit.
No, I am running a Google Hangout where I have to lock my screen while I'm also running external audio through a speaker that I'm holding up to my mic because I can't run it through you guys because you don't hear it through Google Hangouts. And I'm running like one finger on the play button and another one on the external audio. It's complicated.
Well, I'm sorry. It was working. People decided it definitely needed to have updates right now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm locked on. Now you guys can talk and they can still see.
Okay.
Or you can still see.
What did June just say? She read somebody else's tweets that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was. Someone was complaining about Bernie Sanders not taking the tweet down and saying that they had set a timer so that they would remind him every hour in order to put it down. And because they wanted to something about LGBTQ plus people not feeling safe within the movement. and that was that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he's in. Well, he has. He's given his huge a platform to Rogan. Yeah, I think LGBT people have every right to feel maybe not entirely fucking happy about that.
And there's like an argument going on between, again, saying that we don't want to win, or do we want to win, or do we not want to win? Of course we want to win. However, there's a question of what's the best way to win, and the assumption that your base or the people that you assume are going to be in your base will always be there for you is not necessarily the best assumption to work off of.
Yeah, taking people's votes for granted doesn't work.
So it's kind of like you have to consider who are the voters you have, who are the voters you're most likely to get, and then sure, do outreach, but try to find a way to do outreach that doesn't alienate your own base. Mm-hmm. It's also important, and it's something that you have to consider.
Exactly, and the libs that June likes owning are exactly the kind of people she's now quote unquote owning, who Bernie Sanders is going to have to get to vote for him. If they don't, he doesn't win, either in the primary or the general election.
And the people she's owning are people like Kristi who support Bernie. Maybe she should listen to her instead. Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone in the chat asked about the Sandy vagina comment. We actually dealt with that back on Kevin's channel before it crashed, or the restart. So we did actually already point out that misogyny. Just FYI.
Indeed, I'm going to have to put a link to this under the video, and you probably put a link. It's complicated, but fuck it. It's
Okay, all right. Let me get the speaker ready, and we're going to listen to June again. All right, here we go. Where's my mouse? Here it is.
Then she finds a tweet from Joe Rogan from 2012 where he says, "Call me romantic, but I love when gay guys on a date are comfortable enough to kiss in public." I don't see a problem with it. That's like celebrating gay people. In 2012, that's like earlier than Hillary supported gay people. And this woman...
Does anyone know anything about that tweet?
No, but it seems fine. But that's the thing. I mean, outside of this one person, I don't know anyone that is offended by Joe Rogan saying that particularly. Yeah. It's again. I mean, it's not a straw man in the sense that someone did actually say that as an argument, but that's not the argument I've heard anyone else make.
Yeah, I just don't know what the comments were like underneath, or if he was being sarcastic. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. He could have been completely serious, but it's just sort of, Ashley's not really making a convincing argument with that one, I have to say. So
yeah, that's a swing and a miss. Yes. Definitely.
Okay, back to June. I'm going to try to get through this. We're at 3 minutes, 57 seconds.
Woman goes, "In the Democratic Party, we don't fetishize LGBTQ folks when they show affection in a public place. It is not for your pleasure. Bernie Sanders, delete this tweet and renounce Joe Rogan's endorsement." This absolute Stretch Armstrong of a reach, digging all the way to 2012, and this is what you find? Him saying he likes when gay people are comfortable enough to show affection in public? If he's such a racist, sexist, xenophobic, white nationalist, you should be able to find much more than that. I love when people do that.
Which you do, by the way.
See, that's what happens.
Yeah, apologies. So I like to whisper. Apologies. Yes. What she does here is say, like, "Oh, if you're so racist and sexist and blah blah blah, well, why can't you find anything?" Blah, But she literally has later in the video a screenshot or a link up from a tweet with the video, the I think rather infamous video of Joe Rogan comparing a cinema full of black people to Planet of the Apes. Which is pretty fucking racist.
June's
but she doesn't click on the link. She doesn't click on the link to that. She's just going to ignore them, pretend that doesn't exist, even though she shows it on the fucking screen.
And she herself has a history of comparing black people in that way.
But she's definitely going to apologise for that, Kristi. Honest, she's just got to make like another 20 to 30,000 videos before she gets there. I think, you know.
I'm now doubting she even said she was going to make an apology video. I'm going to go back. I've got the video downloaded. I'm going to go watch it myself, but today was busy. Anyway, all right. So, Kristi, anything on that you'd like to jump in?
I do want to. It's not a big deal, but when she said, you know, it's not a big enough deal, I'm just going to let it go. That's my gimme for her.
Okay, someone in the chat just pointed out the tweet that he posted got ratioed. Maybe that's a comment on his fan base? Maybe that's what's going on there. It got 12 likes and 97 comments. Just throwing it out. That was in the chat.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Here we go. June.
They're racist, sexist, homophobic, and you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And they have like 2 tweets in the span of like 10 years. These people are nuts. This is terminal online illness.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's up at 3 a.m. ranting about her timeline. And they've got a problem.
Yeah. It's very strange. But also, it isn't just a couple of tweets. It's his back catalogue. Yeah. It's the fact, even down to the fact that it's like, not only has he been phenomenally transphobic and incredibly racist and a bit homophobic and like enormously sexist and misogynist in a number of ways, but even when he has people like Jordan Peterson or Milo Yiannopoulos, he doesn't really give them pushback. He just sort of chats to them. I'd say that's a problem, but whatever. I mean, June was an acolyte of said people in the past, so I mean, true. But she's super left now, guys. Honest, she's telling us how to be left. Not left incorrectly for this fucking Johnny come lately who's just arrived on the scene but knows everything.
And apparently the strategy is alienate the people most likely to vote for your candidate if their candidate drops out and dismiss racism and various bigotries. Okay.
Well, yeah, and it's not even just the people most likely to. The people you have to get to win.
Well, she's going for the
Warren. If Ashley seems like the kind of person... Yeah, and exactly, yeah. Ashley, as a Warren supporter, is exactly the person you will have to get to win the primary and definitely have to get, and then some, to win the general election.
But you know what
That's just the way it works.
Do you hear the tone she's using with these people? Well, at least this person so far. It's her same outraged, oh my gosh, the feminists tone.
Well, that's her shtick, yeah.
That's her new.
That's her entire bit.
Yeah. Except now she's making it harder for, she's alienating people that Sanders needs to win over. It's great tactics. Brilliant.
I mean, she's basically looking at a tweet from a couple days ago that had all of 12 likes. So do we, I don't think that this is going to have all that much to do with whether or not Bernie, it isn't all that important in the grand scheme of, even in the grand scheme of Twitter, never mind, this larger take. There's not necessarily a reason to promote this particular tweet other than it makes an argument that I think is not particularly compelling, and I've seen people who do make pretty compelling arguments about it, but it's easier to go with one that like this.
The check marks.
But Christiosity, what you're forgetting here is that you can prove anything with facts. So shut up, liberal.
Well, I don't think this person is a check mark. The first one that she was talking about was a check mark, but I don't see a check mark here. Ashley will caucus for Warren.
I mean, no offense, but
and not just that, but isn't Shoe0nhead a check mark?
I don't know. She blocked me.
Well, okay, but clearly she's still checking your Twitter timeline.
Yeah, yes, clearly.
Because I mean, not foreshadowing there, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Okay, I'm going to turn the speakers up, so that means you guys have to be quiet till you have something to say.
Okay.
Wow, this awful tweet has now been up for 10 hours. I'm going to bed now, but we'll still be checking every hour to see if this tweet is still here.
June.
I hope Bernie Sanders takes it down and
Thanks for
renounces
leveling.
Joe Rogan's endorsement ASAP so we can all sleep soundly tonight. This woman is staying up 24 hours with a fucking timer on her phone. It is 3:30 a.m. here in Las Vegas, but people are starting to wake up on the East Coast, and I can't believe this tweet might be one of the first things
this
they
is boring.
see to start their day. It should not have ever seen the light of
June, at least she went to bed. It's 3 a.m. where you are, and you're not even in bed. You're up ranting about someone else saying, I'm going to bed.
Yes, a nod check mark.
Okay.
A Warren supporter.
A nod check mark, yeah.
Okay.
of another day, but here we are. Bernie Sanders, delete the tweet. Gay rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. I do not find human rights to be debatable. We do not need to have a conversation with Joe Rogan or people who think like him. In the Democratic Party, we fight for human rights, not elevate people who harm LGBTQ folk.
Oh, she made a good point there. The end. That was really good, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got no problem having a conversation with anyone, but if you set out your argument, you push back against bigotry or whatever. But the point being is that, is she ever going to bring up the fact that he's a transphobic piece of shit, or is she just going to completely gloss over that because she's super woke lefty now? So
yes, she knows how to do it. Okay.
Lot to unpack here. Let's go. So this person is neurotic. But not only are they neurotic, they are concern trolling to the extreme. This is the definition of performative outrage. Because, forgot to mention, pretty important
big word
fact
she's
here.
learned.
She's a Warren supporter. She's not even
Not
a
just
Bernie
that.
supporter.
I'm sorry. Is performative the new virtue signaling for them now?
Well, that's
Yeah, it's
yes.
all the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and woke scold is the new SJW.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to keep reinventing things because they get a little bit too close to the right that they don't like to pretend that they're a part of. Yes, she knows the phrase performative outrage because she quite rightly gets accused of it quite often, as I would say is the case here. June.
I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't know this Ashley woman. I don't think that you can make the assumption that that she is being performative. And I don't like. In fact, I hate people who talk like this, and make these assumptions about people they don't know. She seems. For as much as I don't agree with her entirely, she certainly seems concerned about this. And the truth is, a lot of people who are sort of Warren supporters are like, Warren supporters, Bernie's my number two. Or there are Bernie supporters who is like, Warren's my number two. Like, the people that I talk to, there's some overlap there. So there's a belief that somebody is going to win. It's going to be one of these people. And then we're all going to merge into one. So being concerned, I don't show any concern about what's going on in other people's, like Warren's camp. I don't care. Biden's camp, I don't care, because that's just too much for me to worry about. But I can understand people who would worry about that.
Well, can I just say, Kristi, you're both my number ones.
Aww.
Aw, that was nice. Who's your number two?
Bloomberg.
Nicely done.
All on the Bloomberg train. I hooked you into that thing. Did you see him trying to eat ice cream like a normal person?
That was so awkward.
Oh my god!
What
It's
were they
like
thinking?
he was eating it like he was thinking to himself, "Is this some sort of alien substance? What is this? Good God!
Well, I think he was
Is this what the
thinking,
peasants are eating nowadays?"
look completely natural, and it had the opposite effect.
Oh my god! I mean, that's that. So I'm on the Bloomberg train because I want the weirdest president ever.
All right, let's get back to June. Otherwise, this is going to go for 4 hours. Okay, here we go. Right, there we are.
In fact, most of her timeline before this performative outrage circus is shitting on Bernie, is calling him a sexist because of the Elizabeth Warren thing. This is concern trolling. She doesn't give a shit. But, more importantly, we do not need to have a conversation with Joe Rogan or people who think like him. We don't? What the fuck is what's activism? What's the point of being left wing? Don't you want more people coming to the left? Don't you want more people voting for progressive candidates like Bernie Sanders? Why wouldn't we need to have a conversation with people like Joe Rogan, who, by the way, is already very left-wing, and also people like him? This automatic...
Honestly, I'm not, like, the conversation thing, I'm not gonna have, I don't have a stake in, because I've never taken a position on that. My position is the re-endorsement, or the signal boosting. So I don't know if anyone wants to speak to this, or we're just gonna let her have her opinion.
Oh, no, I just wanted to bring up,
okay.
He's quite liberal in some ways. He's very right-wing. Like, it's almost as if he's too stupid to have any consistency in his positions at all. Now, that's not to say you have to be an ideologue. Of course not. I mean, I've got positions that are to the right of where I am generally and to the left of where I am generally. That's, every person's quite complex. But Joe Rogan swings wildly. Like, he doesn't have any centre to what he is, really. Which is why, like, I'm sure he would happily vote for either Trump or Bernie in certain circumstances because he's mental.
By the way, I want to finish my sentence there. What I wanted to say is, are we going to let June have her opinion unchallenged? That was when you started talking.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was just, are we going to let her have her opinion unchallenged? Was the rest of that sentence?
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Yeah. Well, I'd assumed you didn't literally mean, are we going to let her have her opinion as in,
yeah,
we need to stop it.
But,
like, that's, yeah, okay.
no. I just like to cover.
It's going to get... Kristi,
well, they can get. Feel free. Feel free to clip that bit of Kristi saying, "June, are we going to allow June to have an opinion?" and then tweet it out with Hitler, with like a Stalin Hitler meme or something. Because that's what the edgy cool kids do.
Yeah.
Kristi hates women.
June can't have an opinion unchallenged. No, it was like, I wasn't going to challenge. Like, I wasn't going to like get in on this because, again, it's not what I really care about. But all right. So,
one thing I will say is the hypocrisy of June saying, "Well, we need to talk to people we disagree with," when she spent her entire online life screaming not screaming, but mocking and deriding rather than talking to people she disagrees with.
Also, she wants to talk to Joe Rogan fans, but not Biden fans.
Yeah, well, because Biden's bad.
but it's a big tent.
Well, which, to be fair, I would say he is, but Joe Rogan's probably worse. So,
I'm just saying, if you're going to say it's okay to talk to Joe Rogan, then you can't really be going on people about talking to Joe Biden people either, especially considering, how inconsistent Joe Rogan is politically. All right. I see Christiosity's muted, so I will continue on with June.
Assumption that Joe Rogan's entire audience is like made up of Nazis is a reoccurring theme here. Like, I'm sure there's right-wing people in his audience, but we shouldn't talk to them. We shouldn't try to have a conversation with them and talk to them about Bernie and policies and issues and stuff like that. Why not? Wrapping up the incel vote. Woohoo. So, even if this was true, even if the 7 million people subscribe to Rogan, even if the 7 million people subscribe to Rogan, we're all incels. Oof. Why does it matter? Bernie Sanders accepting an endorsement from Joe Rogan is serious enough to make me reconsider supporting him in the primary.
Yep, go ahead.
Time out, sorry. Okay, I'll turn it around. I mean, firstly, June, you definitely aren't in any way neurotic here by screaming at these people shouting at people at 3 in the morning. That's fine. Yeah, just people with like 4 likes on their tweet. That's perfectly rational. But the wider point I would make is I would turn the little rant you just had about the 7 million people being incel. What about the tens of millions of people who are libs do their votes not count, June? Because you just want to own all of those people.
Yeah.
And I assure you, there are more people who are liberals in America than there are Joe Rogan listeners in America.
There's a reason why she feels completely comfortable going to talk to right-wing people. She was friends with Lauren. I don't know if she still associates, but hung out with Lauren Southern. And she hasn't disavowed that relationship or expressed regret about it, to my knowledge, on her main channel. So, you know.
I don't think she's done that anywhere. So
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but you know, she knows how to left. She's the expert, and what we need to do to be more left is to go right. We need to go and spend our time with right-wing people because that was how you fix the left. Oh, okay.
Well, we all know that Kekistan was the way to go for the left. Please.
Okay, hitting play, and hopefully she won't shout it down and clip my audio.
Rogan is a transphobic ass. Transphobia kills. This is a huge fucking deal to me. 1,000 retweets, 4,000 likes.
She's getting
Bernie
mad about
Sanders
the
has the
engagement.
most.
She's getting mad about engagement.
Yeah.
Whose
That's
account is this? Maybe they're a huge account.
Well, how
Didn't the look of an egg get like 10 million likes once or something? Like, who cares? Is it relevant to anything? Also,
I do want to
what's
say,
wrong
I'm
with the
sorry.
sentence that's being said there? Sorry, Chris. What's
for
wrong with literally the thing you read out there, June? Rogan is a transphobic ass. Transphobia kills. Yeah. Why is that a problem? Do you disagree with either of those statements? And if so, why so?
Kristi, you have the floor.
First of all, I want to point out that she has been she showed the person who got 12 likes, and now all of a sudden we can't see who this person is. Like, the cowardice. Anyway, but I don't disagree with this tweet at all, and I think that she's talking about how she feels about it. I mean, I could tell you how I definitely made up my mind that I was going to go for Bernie. There was a situation, if you remember, where they were going around and ICE was going to do this sort of mass collection of people to deport. And, you know, several of the Democratic nominees did say something about it, condemning it after the fact. And Bernie was the one who did something before the fact. He sent out like a message to people to give them a heads up, to let everybody know about their rights. And to me, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who is going to go the extra mile and prioritize marginalized people and their rights. And so, look, everybody gets into the White House, and the White House changes them, right? It happens to every single person. Nobody is going to go in there and just get their stuff that they want to get. Yes, I like Bernie's policies, but I also have to consider, is he actually going to follow through? Is this going to be more like Obama, who turned out to be a lot more centrist than we thought he was going to be? You know, and this is the sort of thing that people evaluate when they are looking at a primary, and they say, is this somebody who, for a short-term political boost, will throw an entire group of people under the bus? And if so, is that the person that I want to go with? And so while I'm still promoting Bernie for various reasons, and I still think that, you know, his policies are the best policies and the closest to what I would have, I was very uncomfortable with him promoting Rogan. And that's why I'm not looking for business as usual in the White House. And that's not what I'm hoping to get from Bernie. So for him to sort of turn around and be like, no, this guy has a lot of people, so we're just going to go with it. He's got 7 million subscribers, so fuck it.
Very well said, I think. All right, I'm going to try using the space bar instead of my mouse and see how that works.
Just, yeah.
Including trans people. Remember when fucking they asked him, what are you gonna do for trans people? He was like, oh, we have Medicare for all. That includes trans people.
Sorry for the
And
glitch
fucking
there,
Warren was like, I will personally read the names of the dead. Who else are you gonna vote for? Who's the better option in this case? Just like voting on identity base, this is unironically a privileged position to be able to just be like, oh yeah, I don't want to vote for the most progressive candidate in the race.
Wow.
Somebody who isn't him.
Yep, go ahead.
I forgot this bit. Yeah, this is some weird ass appropriation of leftist rhetoric, which is ironically quite a rightist tactic, actually. But yeah, that's a really privileged position to say. What? To say that you've got some semblance of fucking principle? Because there are lots of trans people who I've seen, and to be fair, I've seen trans people who've said that they don't really give a fuck. Okay, fine. But the trans people who do give a fuck for this, they're not in the privileged position you claim. How are you going to dismiss them?
Again, well said. Okay, I think we're ready to continue. Oh, sound.
And though Warren is my girl for 2020, just like all these people, you were always a close number two. No.
Yep.
Sorry, no, neither me or Christiosity are Warren people. I don't particularly dislike or hate Warren or anything, but we're both Bernie supporters in our own ways, of course. Again, dirty foreigner alert. But yeah, this is an entire straw man to say it's only Bernie people. In fact, if you'd actually look through and been honest, Shoe, you would have found lots of people saying, I'm probably still going to vote Bernie, but this is fucked up, or I was going to vote Bernie, but vote for them not, because this is fucked up. But no, let's just say they're all Warren supporters, because apparently that means that we don't have to listen to them, even though you need their fucking votes.
Kind of a theme of this show.
Yep.
Theme of this show. This is why I don't believe she's really left. You know, she's just basically, this is her feminism thing, but for the left, you know, for her audience, on her not.
I think you got a bit too real on the right, bit too in your face. So she's like, oh, let's pivot away from that because that's mental. Even though I fucking told you it was 5 years ago.
Here's a way for me to criticize leftists and claim cover, pull a Carl, basically.
Yeah. No, I think she's a lot better than Carl, to be fair.
No, but Dave Rubin did it too. Oh, I'm on the left. I'm criticizing the left from within, kind of thing.
Okay, but again, she's better than Rubin.
Oh no! Again, it's a tactic, right? So that's what I'm talking about.
No, I know. That's just in case anyone's like, "Oh, they said she was just like Dave Rubin."
Yeah, covering.
Which isn't true.
Covering. Yeah, basically.
She's not gay and Jewish, so. But Dave Rubin wants you to know he doesn't like identity politics, but he's gay and Jewish, so you can't attack him.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit play again.
No longer. Here's everyone's favorite check mark, Neera Tanden.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm just going to point out, she had also, the second reply there that she was complaining about, she also clipped that, and she didn't say who that was from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get to know who Neera Tanden is, apparently.
Yeah, and then I think I'm after Neera Tanden, which is awesome. That's cool. Because I was watching this with subtitles on the bus, because I didn't want to play it out loud, and I accidentally touched my finger on this part of the timeline, and I saw myself. I was like, oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, Neera Tanden is very much your support act.
Yeah. Does she read this out as well, or should we?
This is where I.
Yeah. Oh, she does.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Kristi. This is literally the timestamp I sent to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I didn't watch it because I just watched 5 minutes of it.
Oh well, thanks. So I bothered timestamping the fucking link for you.
No, I told you. I said I watched the first 5 minutes. I wrote this in the Facebook message. I watched the first 5 minutes, and I was laughing so hard I wanted to do the rest live. And then I went, LOL, shitlord edging. But I literally timestamped the link so you would see this bit, because this bit's amazing. Okay. Well,
This was the bit I wanted you to see.
all right. Well, we're gonna watch it now.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll get to watch your reaction live or hear it anyway.
All right. So everyone's got bated breath now. All right. So I'll hit play.
Applies to Tucker Carlson. Everyone cool with accepting his endorsement? Yes.
Oh my god! Did you see that?
Yeah, that's when I turned it off. I went, oh god.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I told you.
Aren't you glad you waited until I saw it live? Oh my god! Tucker Carlson's
that's
endorsement
amazing.
would be a good. Sorry, did she just say? Sorry, am I still awake? Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Immigrants are making America dirty. Tucker Carlson. Yeah, that guy.
Okay. All right. My mind melted. Sorry.
That would be fine. That would be absolutely fine if he endorsed if Tucker Carlson endorsed a candidate, I would vote for anyone else.
How about Richard Spencer, June? Would that be okay? David Duke? Would you be down with that too? Is it anybody really?
I think that's the argument. I mean, I'm not trying to straw man. I think, I guess we can play it, but I think it's just anybody who.
Well, what I want to know is who's Jeffrey Dahmer going to vote for? Let's know who his candidate is, please.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, he's dead.
All
But,
right,
I mean, okay, Charles Manson's dead. Oh, all of you great American murderers are dead. God damn it.
I'm not going to cry for that. Okay. All
No,
right.
no, but June is, because they were definitely going to endorse Bernie. Definitely.
All right, people in the chat, for those of you who hadn't watched the video, are your brains or your heads back on? Are you figured out how to make words again? Because I'm struggling still. Okay, so back we go into the fray. We're halfway done about, almost.
Tucker Carlson votes for Bernie Sanders. That is one more vote for Bernie Sanders. If Tucker Carlson goes on Fox News and endorses Bernie Sanders to his audience, that's more votes for Bernie Sanders. I don't understand what these people think an election is.
Are you mental, Joan? Do you think any Fox News viewers are going to vote for Commie Bernie?
I mean, there is, we talked about the populist, the partisan populist that floats between like a Trump and a Bernie because of very narrow policy agreements, Venn diagram. But that's not much of the Fox News audience.
No, Fox News would vote for like a fucking lump of shit before they voted for a leftist.
What universe? Also, I'm sorry, I just can't.
Yeah, again, this would be, you don't want your outreach to boomerang back in your face. You know,
Yes.
you're not, it's that whole one in the hand is worth two in the bush kind of thing. Like, you have to keep that in mind. Yeah. You know, when you're sitting with your hands in the bush, you've got to,
Yes.
you got to pay attention to that. Tucker Carlson is so vile. You can't make people think that you're okay with any of that shit, right? Like I can understand just letting Joe Rogan give an endorsement and just kind of walking away. But this is what happens because you end up with people being mad or people feeling betrayed or, you know, like a grassroots movement that is based like Bernie's is on certain moral principles, then has to sort of stick to some of these moral principles and these economic principles and has to show respect to the people in its grassroots base.
Yeah. It's ironic in Joe Rogan's endorsement of Bernie. He says he's been insanely consistent throughout his life. Ironically, sending out the tweet of Joe Rogan saying that disproved the quote itself because that was him being inconsistent with previous behavior and statements.
There you go. Okay. Well, I think on that point, because we want to end this before midnight my time, we're going to go ahead and hit play. All right, speakers are on.
I really don't. People should be honest. They think the ends justify the means. But that doesn't sound very progressive when they've been lecturing everyone on purity for years. They think the ends justify the means? The means here being endorsing the most progressive candidate to an audience of 7 million people.
Straw man.
Yeah. It was about Bernie's actions signal boosting him. Again, yeah, straw man. That's exactly right. I don't think just pointing it out.
The ends here being that progressive candidate winning the election. Can't find the issue. Hillary must be quiet. Joe Rogan must be boosted. It's like a seminar on the role of gender in US politics. Weed man bad because bad opinions.
Wow. That's that's a sophisticated analysis.
Yeah, this is like fucking hell. Is she Noam Chomsky now? What? Amazing, yeah.
Another straw man.
I
can't wait
don't know
till
where
she
to
takes up
start
her
with that.
teaching position at Harvard. Yeah.
Kristi, go ahead.
I don't know where to start with that. I don't think his weed has anything to do with it. I'm not a big fan of Hillary, and I'm not a big fan of the way that she has used her platform necessarily in this particular election cycle. But okay, I'm not going to tell her she should be quiet, and I'm not going to tell Rogan he needs to be quiet. I just think that, you have to be careful who you say, yay, I've got this endorsement of. Honestly, I think a lot of Bernie fans who think that Joe Rogan is awesome, should Hillary endorse him, would not be thrilled. And you gotta think about that. No, it's cool.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say I'd go further than Kristi did and say that I think Hillary's been pretty out of order actually in terms of trying to interfere in this. But that's by the by. I'm not going to go along with this. Oh, she's a snake. Fuck. I did with Warren. But I think there's actually quite a point here, because if your whole thing is about Machiavellianism here, June, which seems to be the case, there's just winning at all costs. A, is there anything that Bernie could do that would be too much? And secondly, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million. You are going to need tens of millions of those same people who don't agree with you, don't agree with Bernie Sanders, and don't agree with Joe Rogan to vote for him. Me. Yeah, you're going to need tens of millions, not just a fucking random Twitter account with 12 likes. You're going to need tens of millions of them. The very people who are going to win you those elections on the ground, the actual fucking boots on the ground that do that, people knocking on doors, doing fucking phone banks and all the rest of it, are going to be tens of thousands of people who don't agree with you, don't agree with Bernie Sanders, and don't agree with Joe Rogan, but they think that we've got to get rid of Trump, right? Those are the people you need to get on board. And just shitting on them like this, how does that win you anything? If you give up the 60-odd million people who voted for Hillary for a handful of Joe Rogan fans who'll vote for Bernie, by shitting on them like that, you've lost.
Yeah, I think that point stands. Unless Kristi, I see she's muted herself, but I think she spoke earlier. So yeah, all right. Sorry, I set down the speaker because holding it up gets tiring for my shoulder muscles, so I'll put it down. Okay, got it back up again and hitting play.
Warmonger good because woman. Here's a hot take from everyone's favorite Karen Summers. When you bring bigots into your
Oh, that's her. That's basically her bearing tactic. I must really get under her skin if she's got that.
You got 3 a.m. You got 3 a.m.
Mad.
You got 3 a.m. from behind a Twitter block at 3 a.m. pwned. You're the one that looks bad here, Kristi. Definitely.
Yeah, because one, I'm not a blue check mark, and two, I'm not mad. I'm making a statement. Like, this was about the mad. And she had one person that she went on and on and on about. And everyone else has been completely calm and also talking about redirecting Joe Rogan up to a much bigger audience than he would have had than if he had not. But okay, all right.
And
yeah, go ahead.
just that, but she's going on about how everyone else is mad. How many times has she like sort of punched the table, slap the table, or
yeah.
put a hand?
The bunny.
Like,
Smack the bunny. Stop smacking the bunny, June.
okay, that's definitely prison slang for something. I don't know what, but I don't. I'm definitely not going to Urban Dictionary to find that out.
All right. Did you want to say something else, or were you just that was it? I thought you had another point and just got distracted by my nonsense.
No, I'm done.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit play unless Christiosity drops in. I'll listen out for her. You can also interrupt any time. You don't just wait for Kevin, although he probably picked.
No, she's muted because of the. Oh, sorry. She's muted because of the.
Okay.
Yeah, the repercussions of her overactive womb.
That's true. I am. I'm here with my eggs. You know, I was listening to Stefan Molyneux and Paul Joseph Watson about my eggs, making sure that they were properly exercised. And yeah, I don't know.
When you say properly exercise, are you taking them for a fucking walk, like on a leash? Are they dogs? What?
I
don't
juggle them. You know, I just I pull them out of my uterus and then I juggle them around and then I stick them back in. You know, like you do.
Oh, that's
Not like
that
a
is
cocktail,
graphic.
You know,
I'm
bartender or
sorry.
bartendress. But...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You brought the tone down, Christiosity. We like to keep things clean. We are a good family Christian show.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was very good. All right, let me pull up the speaker, which I'm doing with my pinky finger now, as I've got my other hand ready to. No, don't say me, Kevin.
Are you playing fucking Twister? What?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, here we go.
Bigotry is directed. What good will it be to get your revolution but forfeit your progressive values?
Who is this brilliant person speaking? I'm sorry. When you bring bigots into your base, it becomes a hostile space to those against whom the bigotry is directed. And that's brilliant. Who said that?
Are you responding to someone called Sexy Pineapple?
I am.
Okay. Well.
And by the way, I
clearly one of the big brains.
Also, thank you for pointing this out. How far in my timeline did she have to dig to find that? Sorry, I'm laughing at this so hard because you're right. Like Sexy Pineapple, I didn't tag her into this. Like she dug this out.
Not just that, but she's done this from behind a Twitter block. She blocked you, but she's still definitely looking at your fucking Twitter timeline.
She blocked me the same day or a few hours before the video.
But you're the one that's mad. You're the one that's mad about this, Kristi. Clearly.
I'm the one banging on the table here.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So what else does this brilliant mind have to say? Let's see. Finish out the tweet.
A white supremacist patriarchal revolution is oppression under a different economic system.
Oppression.
So we all know Karen Summers doesn't even like Bernie. Again, this is concern trolling. This is performative outrage. But this is just funny. When you bring bigots into your it becomes a hostile.
Yeah.
Dismissing people's actual concern is very easy, isn't it? It's basically that's. I think she's now doing. I mean, it's performative leftism as far as I'm concerned. She's now doing the performative leftism for fake news.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
You're a political science person. You comment on politics. Jesus.
Yeah, but if you can just scream fake news, at a thing, it makes it not true anymore. And if you can scream concern trolling, it does the same thing.
I would like either you to find the words Bernie Sanders or Joe Rogan in that tweet.
I can see Sexy Pineapple. Well, that's technically in the replies, but that's a different thing.
It's a statement of it's my opinion. It's my assessment based on what I've seen happen to other political movements. But yeah, it's just funny that she finds me so irritating.
No, she doesn't, obviously, because she just bans you or blocks you, and then still checks out long streams of your timeline
by the way,
see random tweets. You know,
either of you disagree with the assessment? For anyone?
No.
Great. I think you're completely wrong, and that June is definitely correct with her incredible insights of weed man bad because opinion bad.
Yeah, like that's literally a globally applicable statement to all progressive movements. Just putting it out there.
Hello?
Yeah, you still hear me? Hello?
I don't know.
My sound is
Hello?
still on.
I can hear you. I don't know.
I can hear
Kevin?
him.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I could hear Kevin.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Oh, well, I cut out then briefly.
Okay.
I was just being silly. I was saying that I disagreed with you when I don't.
Okay. No, we got that.
So basically, you missed a bit of comedy gold.
No, we heard that. That was all good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Well, you don't seem that impressed by it. Fucking hell, Jesus!
I reacted.
I mean, tough crowd.
And then you
Jesus.
dropped away, and then you came back, and the moment was over. I told you, it's like I gotta keep focused. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna hit play now, so no more talking. We have to get through this.
Style space. What the fuck are you What space? They're going into the voting booth and fucking voting. What space?
Oh.
What?
Oh, this is just ignorance.
Yes.
This is so dishonest, isn't it?
All right. See, what happens is there's what's called the ground game. And no, I think we know.
What do I mean, space? Wow, June.
Because the only thing that exists is literal physical space. The idea of like a conceptual space, like maybe, I don't know, Twitter discussions.
Space, yes.
Yeah.
or rallies.
Or I don't know, a YouTube channel, yes. June, maybe.
She's in an online space. Making fun of the concept.
Yeah,
she's basically swimming. She's in a swimming pool going, I don't believe in water.
But even with this, like, what does she think? Bernie got into some trouble, and I think, things got better when he originally came out because of sexual harassment in his campaign. So where does she think that happened? In the voting booth?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that what she thinks everybody waited, then they went into the voting booth and sexually harassed each other, and that's the problem? Like, this is what people are talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's a straw man, Kristi. They caucused on behalf of sexual harassment and against sexual harassment, and they came to the conclusion maybe we shouldn't be doing sexual harassment anymore.
Well, that's okay. So that's good thinking on their part.
Which is strange, because I thought Iowa would definitely vote in favor of sexual harassment, but there we go.
I really think they will. I think maybe those polls were fake news.
No, they were performative outrage.
Oh,
please.
Yeah. Well, no one believes in anything. So
certainly not space, conceptual online space or anything. Or even physical space,
exactly. Well,
like rallies.
You can talk about your conceptual spaces, but she's got alternative facts.
Like
so
your campaign headquarters and your events and your volunteer groups and socialized things. All that is your political space, June. All of it. Oh my. Okay. Just have to all right. Anyway, sorry. Doing my pinky thing again and hitting play.
What good will it be to get your revolution but forfeit your progressive values? I just need to know. When and did Bernie forfeit his progressive values? Bernie campaign.
Hang on. Well, no one's saying he absolutely went and forfeited all of his progressive values. The point is, he definitely compromised himself.
And my point is, it's a consequence. That's the when is. If we go back, at least in my mind when I was writing it.
Jesus, we'll be all fucking night.
When you bring bigots in, the consequence is you end up foregoing your progressive values. So it's a consequence. I'm not saying that Bernie did it. I'm saying that by appealing to and lifting up the voice and bringing attention to Joe Rogan, you're actually exposing more people to his ideas than before. And that's, if they are then attracted to your movement, you're attracting those people with those attitudes into spaces where people should be feeling safe. So.
Yeah, most people who like Bernie Sanders don't give either a fuck or don't know about Joe Rogan. So now him tweeting this out, they might go, oh, who's this guy? Joe Rogan. Oh, I'll Google him. Oh, apparently trans women are actually men. Oh, that's interesting. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? Come on.
Okay, so now she's got Imani Gandhi.
Us, trans people. Us, Bernie. Not
we get to see who this one is.
Yeah, she hasn't clipped this one out.
No, the lag, apologies.
No, it's all, okay. Oh, and hitting play.
Well, us, Bernie. Well, not you either. Black people. What about us, Bernie? That's a hard no. Incels and gamer gators. Us, Bernie. That's a Texas size 10-4. What? Where? Why does this have so many likes?
Go ahead.
Can someone explain what? Can someone explain a Texas 10-4? What the fuck's that?
Oh, that is, you know how truckers have radios?
Oh yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, 10-4 for a copy. Yeah, was a thing. CB radios.
Yeah, I don't know. So, and yeah, and a Texas 10-4 is like a big copy. Like, yeah,
Oh,
Because
okay.
everything's bigger in Texas.
everything's bigger.
Including their conspiracy theorists.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna hit play and not tell a joke I heard on Netflix because for time. Okay, here we go.
When I am president, there will be gulags for check marks. At this point, there's only
Nice. Okay, there we go. There's a clippable line for
Well,
you.
that's no. She's seen the leftist joking about that, so that's cool. So
Oh, right.
she's learning the lingo very well.
Yes.
By the way,
performative
can I just point out
gulag.
the person she's well, someone's getting violently attacked at Christiosity. At Shay Christiosity. The person she's referring to now here, this person, Tom Watson, we get to see him. A person I've not had a great deal of love for at all, but was previously the former deputy leader of the Labour Party and has been a member of Parliament and won elections for decades. He isn't anymore. He stood down at the last election. But this is a guy who knows how to win elections. So, I mean, you can take the advice of a decades-long successful political career or June from the internets.
Yeah, your choice. There you go. Okay, hitting play.
one conclusion you can draw. Joe Rogan's racism, hateful transphobia, and open misogyny and disgusting Islamophobia is a feature to Bernie Sanders' personality, not a bug. It's 3 days in, the senator has been silent. How is... So this check mark is agreeing with the other check mark. It's just a check mark circle jerk going on here. And agrees that Bernie Sanders...
Go ahead.
Apparently just going, how, what, and then punching the table is an adequate response to a career politician who knows about politics. Now, I don't actually agree with the thing he said, in the sense that it's a feature rather than a book. But the point being is that he does know about a thing or two, and maybe having some kind of cogent argument might be worthwhile. Otherwise, the name of this channel stops being ironic.
Yes, very much so. Anything you want to say, Christiosity?
I also disagree with it, but I also believe that it's important to listen to these kinds of takes, especially takes from people who are marginalized, and to hear them out and to I think it's very important if something you're doing is causing people to question you and to question your commitment to them. That's a good time to sit down and listen and not scream at them and slam the table because they are so neurotic. Like that's.
Also, where does she live that at 3 a.m, slapping a table won't get your neighbours to ring the fucking police or something? What the fuck?
Well,
do people not sleep in her area? I don't know. Or does she live just in a
suburb,
more like a detached house or something?
Yeah, probably. Okay.
West wing of her estate. Yes.
All right, so I'm going to hit play again. Thank you for that, Christiosity, by the way. Right.
Should be cancelled, but also Andrew Yang. So here's Carlos Maza, who, by the way, follows me, which gives me a great deal of anxiety. Bernie's campaign cutting a campaign ad with Joe Rogan fucking sucks.
Don't think you're his type.
Thing is, if it really freaks you out, June, you'll never watch this, but you just go block him, unblock him, and then he stops following you. There you go. Fix it. Lose some anxiety in your life because you clearly have too much when you're on Twitter. From banging, all the table banging in this. All right.
Rogan is an incredibly influential bigot, and Democrats should be marginalizing him. When these people see polls, let's say they look at the Iowa polls, right, that are coming out where Bernie's in the lead.
What have Polish people got to do with it?
It's not those kinds of polls. Okay, hitting play.
Percentage. Are they yes, everyone within that percentage agrees with me 100% and they are super woke and super pure. The working class, the poor, the people that you are fighting for aren't ideologically pure. I don't, like, in these people, in their perfect world, there would be, like, armed guards standing outside the voting booth.
Stop the fucking video, because this pisses me off so damn much.
You go.
Stop. Stop, projecting this shit onto the working class, okay? This idea that upper class or middle class people are somehow just wonderful and better, and working class and poor people. First of all, working class and poor people are far more fucking diverse than the upper classes. You get the further up in the class you get, the more that you have a white majority, and the fewer marginalized people you're going to see. And when you go to, because I was working class my whole damn life, all right? And I know that there are different areas, there are different regions, there are places geographically, and the difference there is geographically, or what the overall demographics are, where a place might be particularly white, or particularly this, or particularly that, Christian, or something.
I was about to say, aren't the black people in Boston that play for the Celtics, basically?
But when, most people who are working class, they have to work directly day in and day out in very diverse workplaces. And so, you learn shit. That's where I learned a lot of the shit that I learned. And when I came out of, this buttfuck rural white town, there was a lot of shit I didn't know, and I learned it because I was working side by side in physical labor with other people. And everywhere that I've worked as a working class person, everybody I know as a working class person has this experience and could probably teach upper class people a fucking thing or two. Honestly, we're not the ones living in gated communities, closed off from the rest of the goddamn world, and going, I don't care about the fucking poors and the fucking browns and the fucking these people and the fucking that people. We're the ones in the most mixed, the most complicated thing, and we're coming together and working together. And, I work all with people who speak different languages, or who, come from different cultures and different countries and are different colors. And you learn a lot of shit. I'll tell you right now, food. If you ever want to make friends with people outside of your own culture, just start bringing food. Works like a charm. Anyway, that's not what's important. What is important is I am so fucking sick of hearing this bullshit about the working class. And I'm always hearing it from people who are not working class, and working class people. I'm sorry, I know I'm going on a crazy rant here.
No, go ahead and finish up, and then Kevin can, I think he was just echoing your point.
Yeah. So working class people are plain spoken, because the kind of political correctness that we fucking hate is the political correctness that comes from our bosses, who find new and ever more fascinating ways of describing how they're going to screw us out of our paycheck. Who come up with things like, oh, we have a new system and it's got this great name, and I can't even remember what some of the things I've been told is. And what this means is you'll be working more for less, but we're going to call it something really positive. And so I do think that there is something in working class people, speaking in a very general way, about being plain spoken and telling it like it is and calling out bullshit when you're going to call out bullshit. And I think that when people who are working class are in fact racist, because some people are, that's just a thing, they're more blatantly racist. But I would swear to God, they are not more racist. They are not more sexist. They are not more of any of these things than anybody else. Okay. If anything, I believe that they are less, but nobody fucking checks. This isn't based on anything. This is based on these classist assumptions that working class people are these dirty fucking racist pores. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I was just going to echo that point. As a working class person myself, it really, really irritates me to hear middle class suburban people like June and like Carl and various other people basically defend racism in working class people by just saying they're working class. It is enormously classist. I know that some of the best people I've ever known are working class and not racist. You don't have to be stupid. You don't have to be uneducated. You don't have to be racist. You don't have to be sexist. Okay? The fact that some working class people are, like you say, because they're more good, upper classes who are actually implementing these racist laws that are starting these horrific fucking wars that are bombing brown people, that's way more directly racist, but because they can do it with euphemisms like enhanced interrogation or, you know, something like that, that means they're not racist. And so you don't have to patronizingly tell them what they're allowed to do or whatever. Anyway, but the second point I wanted to make about June projecting yet again her purity test bullshit, because hasn't she literally spent like half of the video so far dismissing people because they support a different candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't support her particular candidate and that set of policies. Therefore, they're not pure enough for her, so she's going to own them.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a very valid point. And also, the title of this is Liberal Gatekeeping, and that is not what the video is about at all. It's just her rant.
Also, isn't she? Yeah, she's doing gatekeeping.
Yeah.
She's literally saying, well, if you support a different candidate, fuck you.
Pretty
What?
much. All right, so speaking of June, let's get back because we've got 6 minutes left. So let's see how much of this we can plow through before one of us has to interrupt. Okay, hitting play.
And before you get in, you have to give them your Twitter. Oh, sorry. And before you get in, you have to give them your Twitter name, and the guards dig through your history of tweets.
I was doing.
They'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, you said shitting dick nipples."
Oh, that's
5.
Yeah.
Apologies. If you can just skip back just a second. Just a second, please.
There?
Because this is the point I'm talking about. She says, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that he's a racist, sexist, blah, blah, blah? Click the link.
Yeah.
Although that's look a screenshot. Like, she clearly went to the thing to get the screenshot. You could have clicked on that link and watched him compare a room full of black people to Planet of the Apes. Which I know you've not necessarily got a problem with because, you know, you're happy to do that, certainly to individual black people. But, yeah, that's pretty fucking racist.
Yeah. And she just skates right past it. Thank you.
Yeah, let's not focus on that. Let's just, you know, let's ignore that.
Let's hear an example of him saying something that people find incredibly racist because it is, and then compare some of these talking points. And no, just skip over it. Just skip over
it's on the screen. It was on the screen for such a little amount of time that I had to ask Kristi to go back. In the 2 seconds it took for Kristi to press pause, it had gone.
Yeah. So there you
Brilliant.
go. Such honesty in reporting. Such fair-sided presentation of the facts. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am, you said shitting dick nipples 5 years ago. I'm actually becoming increasingly worried that these people aren't aware that the welfare and healthcare and all these social programs they advocate for will also help the bad people. And also...
If we just ignore racism and sexism and homophobia, we'll get, you know, what I want, and then you'll all be happy.
Well, it's not even class reductionism. It's exactly what I believe reductionism.
Yes.
Unless you do, which is ironic because she's accusing others of gatekeeping, but basically, unless you agree with me, therefore you're against healthcare or something. I don't quite know the point she's making here.
Can I make the point that it's great if you have healthcare, but not if you need to use it because you've been a victim of a police shooting.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not like we can put aside one thing and only care about this other thing.
Well, exactly, and not just that, but healthcare is slightly pointless if the trans people spikes even further because you're emboldening transphobes. Which, by the way, before any people want to take that out of context and say, oh, he's accusing Bernie of the... No. I'm saying if, as a general society, we embolden transphobes and more people get murdered because of that, their healthcare is rather moot at that point.
Mm-hmm. Kristi, just in case, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to give everybody health care. You know, this is part of being in a society. We're well aware. That doesn't mean we want to promote racists.
Yeah.
Like, these are two different things. Like, I don't want Bernie to promote Joe Rogan and put him on his, promotional video where he's singing with Paul McCartney about America or whatever. And, don't want that. But that doesn't mean that if Joe Rogan had pneumonia, I would want him to just not be able to get to a doctor. Like, these are just different things.
Yes. It's a false comparison.
Yeah, like no one's saying Bernie Sanders should give everyone healthcare except Joe Rogan. No, it looks so ridiculous.
So, another straw man. Oh, we should have kept track of all the straw men. Oh, by the way, somebody clipped the Sargon going bub, 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 and I actually tracked it down. But then, so I have that video clip at some point. We're not going to play it right now, but I do have it. Yeah. We can just keep it on the show and just have Carl going bub, 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 bub.
Bub, 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 bub. As though she's literally trying to make a point. Like it's, I mean, is that... that's worse than just saying weed man bad, but it's in the same ballpark, definitely.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Turning the speaker up, and I'm about to hit play.
This like weird thing where they mix up their like social friend group with like politics. They do it all the fucking time.
It's not a social friend group. June, it's lived experience. It's people who go outside of their house and feel afraid about being harassed or attacked or spit on because they are being themselves. Or shot. I mean, seriously? What
and not just that,
white
but
bubble does she live in?
Yeah, exactly. Not just that, but she accuses others of getting too caught up in their friend group, and it's not politics, but she literally started herself by using the phrase white pilling. Go and ask any normal person what white pilling is.
I still don't know what it is.
Well, I did explain, but you weren't listening.
I know there was the white supremacy one, but I can't imagine that.
Basically, just it's a cause to be optimistic would be the actual
the way maybe she's
grown up way of actually describing that sensation.
I thought it was getting people to be Bernie Sanders voters because he has white hair.
No.
That's what I thought it meant.
Let's make that a thing.
That's what I thought it meant.
Yeah.
Well, that could be white hair pilling. I'd be okay with that. But white pilling sounds a little racist to me.
Well, like I say, it does have that racist connotation, but on this occasion, I'll give June a pass on that. I don't think she's being like white supremacist or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. At least not intentionally, for sure. But I don't.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, hitting play.
There are so many tweets where it's like, oh no, like this is bad for our spaces. Like I don't understand. Twitter's public. What do you think they're going to come into your Discord chat room?
Oh man.
It's literally the most honest thing she said in this. I don't understand.
No, she doesn't. You don't understand, June. This is I don't. Oh, and the thing is that other people are now agreeing with her, going, "I don't understand either." Like, no, think, please, June. Oh.
Well, that last tweet there, from Jody Optimist Bias Jacobson. Okay, getting a diverse group of racist, misogynist white guys. You mean, or as I like to call them, her fan base.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, and on that
I should no, when I say her, I mean Shoe, not Jody. I don't know Jody. No idea who the fuck that is, but
I think I might actually follow Jody if I'm honest. Okay, hitting play.
I honestly, truly don't understand, and I've actually gotten this same exact criticism where people are complaining that now I'm talking about Bernie and electoral politics. I'm talking about like regular politics and stuff like that, and not just culture war stuff. I've seen people like, oh yeah, she's gonna bring her Nazi fan base into our spaces.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you haven't apologized for your racism yet, you racist. You've got your fans. Yeah, go ahead, Christiosity. You go. You're the guest.
I was dogpiled just a couple days ago by your people.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I don't like interacting with people who are followed by Nazis.
Yeah.
That's it. Because then I have to fucking deal with Nazis, and I don't like them.
Yeah.
And also, it's not just Nazis. Like, I don't think a majority of her fans are Nazis or anything like that.
No.
But a lot of them are really nasty people, regardless of whether even their politics are sort of okay at points. They're phenomenally unpleasant human beings.
If you want to know whether or not Shoe's fan base is racist, bring up her gorilla comment and see all the replies that tell you that what she said wasn't racist. June isn't racist. That comment's not racist. None of it's racist. It's all just fine.
Yeah.
If you want to know how many
absolutely.
racists she has, look at all the people in her comments who will defend her racist past. That's why it's so important that she makes an apology video on her main channel. Because she's not left until she stops associating with people who literally just a couple months ago were still defending that as not racist. This is not in the past, June. This is your fan base now. They follow you. And if you don't disassociate from them, you are bringing their hatred into Christiosity's feed and other people's feed. This is exactly what we're talking about. And not just their feeds, but also, potentially in real life, at rallies, at other events, or in volunteer stuff going out. Who knows? But yeah, okay. So, sorry, I need to get the speaker again. I set it down again because, again, it's heavy and I need to pick it up. All right. Did you want to say something, Christiosity?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to say something, and I've said this before. I think that people weren't paying attention to things like Carl's complete face plant all over Britain and didn't take the message from that what is popular among people online does not necessarily translate into popularity in the larger culture. And people, when they heard Carl's shtick, hated him and threw fish at his face because most people don't like bigots and they don't like rape apologists and they don't like this shit.
Can people remind me more regularly of that?
Flying fish.
The fish, definitely.
If you're the kind of person that other people want to throw fish at your face, you should be taking that on board and saying maybe there's something seriously, this is all of Britain basically destroyed UKIP because they were so upset about Carl's crap.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be that. It doesn't have to be that obvious either. The one I go back to is Ron Paul, right? If judging by internet popularity, Ron Paul would have been the nominee in 2010, was it? Whenever Barack Obama's second one, 2012. Oh, okay. He was the most popular dude online, and if you said anything bad about Ron Paul, his fans would be up your fucking ass in a second, right? And nowhere near it. In reality, that internet popularity does not necessarily translate into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just... There is a legit selling point that we could be operating off of, hey, we're the side that doesn't like the bigots. We're the side that if you come over to us and you don't want to deal with bigots, we're with you. That's a selling point to a lot of people. A lot of people do not like this shit. They don't like racism. They don't like ironic fucking Nazi flags that are painted green. They don't like this. Just because a solid group of people that is really into that shit and really thinks it's offensive to their sensibilities that anybody would question that, does not mean that this is typical or normal outside of that. And I feel like one of the things that this is sort of a larger YouTube, BreadTube kind of thing. We've gotten into this mindset of playing to these internet trolls because we interact with them so much. And we have to remember this is not like a demographically reliable sample. Like if I was going to do a survey of your average American or your working class American, I would not go, well, I'll go check out the internet trolls and see what the internet trolls of Kekistan are doing. That must be who I'm supposed to go to, because that's the typical American. Like there's this sort of where there's like they'll call people normies or whatever, and like there are a lot of normies out there. Frankly, there's nothing wrong with that. If the alternative is people who like to put Nazi flags that are green on their walls, like.
Also, these motherfuckers love the fact that they're normies because they get to be the cool kids by literally defining themselves as not a normie. So without the normie, they'd be spiritually homeless.
Okay. All right. 5 minutes left, guys. We're so close. Here, June be outraged about really common sense kind of things, but okay.
We paused Ms. Table Slam, so. I mean,
God,
that's a highlight again.
Bunny, poor Bunny. Okay, here we go.
Straight. For years now, we have been hearing about the alt-right pipeline. There have been several studies about the alt-right pipeline and how channels like Chris Rogan will bring people to the alt-right. And I've been called an alt-right pipeline, and Joe Rogan has been called an alt-right pipeline. But as soon as we start...
And you are.
Yeah.
You've literally done that throughout your career. You went on Carl's fucking channel and he has like defended the Christchurch shooter and stuff and screamed about how Elliot Rodgers was not really to blame because it was the fucking feminist system. And Joe Rogan and Carl and Lauren Southern, your friend, have all parroted white genocide conspiracy bullshit. And actually, so was Chris Rogan. Chris Rogan, famously on Twitter, literally put out a tweet going on about why is it okay for Africa to be for the Africans, but not Europe for the Europeans or America for the Americans. Literally parroting white nationalist talking points.
Yeah, and see my previous comments.
Lines to that. Base. And Richard Spencer himself said it, didn't he? He said Carl and June were good.
Milo.
What was it?
Milo, not June, I don't think. Milo and...
Oh, Milo. Sorry, Milo. Yes, apologies. But I mean, an acolyte in Gamergate, anyway. A good access points to the alt-right or whatever the phrase was.
Well, one, she's got her racist content and history out there. Next, she strawmans and mocks feminism, thereby legitimizing misogyny. And those are the elements that you need. Racism and misogyny. Those are the core of white supremacy. Like that's it. That you're good to go. If you cross those lines, you're on the teetering edge of that. And she helps get people to that point by misrepresenting feminism and other things. Okay, unless Christiosity wants to come in on that, I'm going to hit play. She's still muted.
No.
Okay, hitting play.
Advocating for actual progressive candidates, for actual policies that will help people and actually change the country. All of a sudden, the bigots are coming into our spaces. Which one is it? Do you want to grow the left, or do you want your super secret exclusive best friend Twitter club? What do you want? What is activism to you? What is politics to you? In my
is
survey
this
that I read,
June, what do you think what you do is activism? It isn't.
No.
It's YouTube.
Yeah.
You do videos on YouTube. And that's fine. Yeah. I mean that's there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of a discourse in the nation and internationally and all of that. But that's not activism.
No.
That isn't activism. You have to get out into the real world and do things.
You know, this last month, the Resistance Fund, because I was too busy in 2019 to do it on a monthly basis, so I just collected all of it into 1 month, and we donated $250 to the Florida Restorative Education Fund that is helping to help people pay off their fines so that they can vote again after they get their felonies off their cleared, because.
Cool.
Yeah, the Florida Republican governor is forcing people to pay all their fines before they can get their right to vote back.
Which is pretty fucked up. Basically saying, unless you're rich enough, you don't get to vote.
It's a poll tax.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's activism.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying June hasn't always, because I don't follow what the fuck she gets up to.
Yeah.
Maybe she's done some activism as well. But this isn't activism. She's claiming here that making videos advocating for for Bernie Sanders is activism, and it isn't. If you got out and knocked on doors or did a phone bank or caucused trim or whatever,
yeah, I mean,
this
that's
isn't.
it. If you're going out and sorry, you go ahead, Kristi.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just, in going back to what she's saying, it's it's very frustrating because I feel like she's not connecting some dots here. And I don't want to badmouth Bernie because I don't think that this is true of Bernie, but I understand the argument that if he's willing to make compromises for people and safety and politics and Machiavellianism now, what's to stop him from doing that 2 years ago in the White House? Because it's not getting easier. He's, most people start out when they're running full of dreams and pie in the sky visions, and then those visions come crashing down to earth in the White House because it's a much more complicated and difficult situation to get things passed. If you're already making these compromises, it's fair for people to wonder if these policies that you're promising are ever going to come to anything. I mean, this is how we got what was it in the don't ask, don't tell policy in the military. This is how we get this kind of crap. The Clintons were going to give us health care for everybody too. That didn't happen, so that is why people look to you and look to how you run your campaign. Now, honestly, I don't think Bernie knows who Joe Rogan is, and, maybe he should know better. I just don't think that, I don't think he thinks about it in this way. I think that maybe if he had heard all the different things that Joe Rogan had said over the years about Islamic people, Muslim people, or Black people, or trans people, he might have done things differently. And I don't believe it was ever in his intention to make any compromises. But I can understand the concern that people have and thinking if he does this now, he could do this later. That's why I think she's not understanding people's
concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also because it does kind of send a bad message to people who are very important to progressive turnout. Sorry, and then the last thing I'll make on that point is, if you chase these first-time Bernie primary voters in the primary, will they turn out for him or for someone else or no one at all in the general? So that's another thing too about people who don't vote on a regular basis, getting them to vote the first time. It's difficult, and you don't know if they're going to do it again. So
yeah, and not just that, but I mean a broader point, which isn't necessarily even relevant to the things that were just said, but just trans people. A lot of trans people feel fucking betrayed by this, and pretending like that none of this matters.
Yeah.
June is really fucking disrespectful.
Also, I've seen a lot of I saw things being circulated from Black Twitter too, and the racist clips being circulated.
Yeah, he compared Black people to fucking apes. Like, that's not fucking cool. That's not helping Bernie as well, because the one thing Bernie has lacked support is, amongst black people who make up a significant proportion of the Democratic voting base.
Yep.
So aligning yourself with a guy who compares black people to apes, probably not winning many black votes over, I don't think.
And that's why people are upset. Like, I don't see, yeah, but she doesn't seem to see it. Okay, sound and video, go.
To you, what is politics to you?
June.
In my survey that I read a few weeks ago, one of the questions was, what have I changed your mind on? And I swear to God, thousands and thousands of people answered Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders now. Bernardo Sanderson. You made me more left-wing. Hundreds and...
Yep.
Okay,
So, yep.
we should definitely be calling him Bernardo Sanderson from now on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the same people who are saying what you said about Leslie Jones wasn't racist are now voting for Bernie. So what's going to happen when they make that joke at a caucus? You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Oh, by the way, I wanted to thank, I looked really hard, sorry, not really hard, but I took a long time looking at the name Chris Loeb 1234. You were very generous. Thank you for your contributions of $4 to the happy hour. Appreciate that. But you've given money now twice, 2 shows in a row, so you have to stop. I'm not very good at this whole Patreon.
That's about $4 is an appropriately specific amount. Like, it's not 5, it's not 1, it's not 10.
Well, no, it was
$4.
$2,199, so technically it was $3.98. But I just rounded up.
Oh, that's even better. Genius. Love it.
Okay, now we're in the last 4
We
minutes.
have to donate 2 pence. You have to donate 2 cents now just to round it up. Otherwise, the OCD people are going to go mental.
I mean, and by that, Kevin's talking about himself. Now it's going to bother him, and it's $3.98, not $4. Okay.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm appropriating my entire community for this one purpose.
All right. So now, speakers on. Everyone quiet. Hitting play.
Thousands of people saying that. So the left-wing pipeline that we are opening up, that me and Joe Rogan are opening up, is bad too?
Oh, that's ridiculous. You're opening up a pipeline. You're opening up a sewage pipeline of bullshit to me right now, but that's about it.
She just compared her
off.
audience to Joe Rogan's.
Well, I mean, I would, because they're both fucking idiotic and pretty right-wing. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm glad that she promotes Bernie. I'm glad that she promotes whatever that she does. But again, it's like, it's coming at a cost. And
Coming.
yeah, I honestly believe that when different strains of leftism and different groups can come together, then we'll be able to do great things. But the way that we do that is not by picking favorites and not by saying, well, the people that who want to say the N-word or call people gorillas or whatever, that's one thing, and we should be patient with them. But like liberals who like Hillary Clinton is bad, or this who, like,
Mm-hmm.
you have to sort of be reasonable. I don't know. Just my take.
I would also say...
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Warren's but Joe Rogan's awesome. Like, what?
Yeah, and I was what was I going to say? First, 2 things. Objectively Subjective in the chat donated $2.17 just to spite you, Kevin. He writes, this should really bug Kevin.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, when I come and burn your house down in Minecraft, that will just be a spooky coincidence, I'm sure. Yeah. It's fine.
And then I remembered my second point because someone in the chat wrote in all caps, "Left-wing pipeline, I died." That was Blue Jay. So, nice reaction. But on that, June, if you want to be a left-wing pipeline, make an anti-racism video and talk about your past and own it and why it was wrong, and listen up on what people say about racism. Same thing with feminism. Maybe reconsider some of your more strawmanny arguments and, talk about women's rights in a more positive way and find common ground with them if you're going to find common ground with Joe Rogan and defend his comments.
But Kristi, she can't give up the anti-feminism grift, because, I mean, when she talks about a left-wing pipeline, I think she means left-wing people piping money into her bank account.
Yeah, I think that's it. Entirely. All right, sorry, I have to tell Objectively Subjective that I would have paid, if he would have given me $200, I would have paid him back. Okay. Speaker, sorry, I set it down again. Damn, it's kind of like doing, I don't know, juggling.
Oh, did you find that dude who gave like $200 Canadian?
No, I looked to try to cancel it and I didn't see on there how, and so I made a comment I sent out a tweet looking for him, and I made a comment on the show and I think my other show, but if
maybe you just got a secret millionaire or something.
Yeah, our Jeff Bezos, but a decent one. Okay, all right. So we're gonna try to finish this. There's only 3 minutes left, guys. Well, almost 4. Okay, here we go.
Help me out here, because I'm lost.
Listen to the show,
We
June.
are constantly hearing from all these Democrat donuts how important
Democrat
unity is.
That sounds quite nice. Democrat donuts. I could go for one. Definitely.
Red, white, and blue. Yes. Oh man. Okay. Sorry. I'm live reacting.
Is that? Well, you're in Boston. I mean, is that a Dunkin' thing? Democratic donut? I don't know.
Yeah. We do have Dunkin' Donuts out here, and yeah, it would not surprise me to see a Democratic donut.
Okay. But anyway, that was she's such a unifier. Okay.
And how much we need.
Oh, that was a point I did want to make, though, is that, she's talking here about how important it is, whatever, bringing people in. I call her June or Shoe. I don't have a dumb nickname for her. I actually have 2. I'm a wine and I'm Karen Summers. Like, can't you just be a grown-up?
Yeah.
Can't you just deal with... No. I deal with her like a person.
Blep, 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 blep.
Now that... You have to mix Carl into that. You have to do a 2020 remix.
That would be amazing.
It would be. Oh, so people, just whoever does that first wins. Nothing, but you just win.
Yeah, you win life. You just win at life.
And if you can do like a pitch shift in Audacity, I'm giving you ideas here, people, to harmonize with Kevin instead of replacing the audio. Oh
yeah, I think me and Carl together would make a really rich harmony. Definitely.
Oh, those dulcet British tones.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Once we created Shakespeare, and Emily Bronte and stuff. Now me and Carl going blep, 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 is basically the height that we can achieve.
All right. Okay. Speakers.
Welcome to the era of Boris Johnson, everyone.
Yes. 2020. Here we are. All right. Speakers are on, and June's about to shout at us.
We'll bring all sides together, and we'll get people from across the aisle, and we'll unite the country. Constantly hearing it from Kamala, Klobuchar, Joe Biden, everyone. Oh, we can bring over independents. Oh, we can bring over conservatives. And the second Joe Rogan tries to do that, the check marks
Joe
and the
Rogan again. Straw man. Ding, 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 ding. Straw man. People are talking about Bernie. Just reminder. People are talking about Bernie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a second. When did we say we wanted the conservatives?
Yeah. I think there is a group of former Republicans who will vote for the Democrat to keep Trump out.
And I'm all for it.
Yeah, constitutionalists, basically.
Yeah, but I don't know that we.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept their vote, but I'm not pandering to them to get it.
Yeah, I'm not like out there defending Jennifer Rubin because she trolls. Who is she trolling? I don't know. She trolls everybody magnificently, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's one thing to sort of like, hey, this person, anyway, and go out there and be defending things and the people and their attitudes and not changing your own. Okay, sorry. I'm going to try to get through this.
Supporters go rabid. And you know what I think? I think some of these Warren supporters are jealous. Straight up, I think they're jealous because apparently, according to Joe Rogan himself, Warren asked to be on the show and Rogan denied it. So in an
And-
alternate dimension,
Yeah.
There's no way that Joe Rogan would have maybe made that up because it sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trump
We
said
show
that
no
he
evidence
was.
for it, but Joe Rogan said it, so it
Yeah.
must be correct. Like the anti-vax stuff he comes out with, it must be correct because Joe Rogan said it.
Yeah, because I remember when Trump said that he was asked to be on Jimmy Fallon, and then he said no, and Jimmy Fallon was that him? All the sort of late night talk show hosts kind of blend for me, but it was like we never asked him to be on the show. I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, okay, hitting play.
Joe said yes, and Warren went on the show,
Bernie
and
said
then
yes.
Warren made a campaign, and these people would be celebrating it. They would be all over. They would be saying, "Wow, it's crazy how Warren can unite people from all sides."
No, what you'd have is the exact same reaction, but from those people saying, "Wow, Elizabeth Warren was my number one candidate, but now I'm not so sure."
Well, this is it. I didn't even know Bernie had gone on the Joe Rogan show. Like that missed.
Oh, this was ages ago. Yeah.
She made it sound like it happened 2 weeks ago.
No. This recent thing with Bernie was recent.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well,
Yeah.
wait. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
No,
I could
he
be
went
wrong.
on the show. Didn't he go on the show like 6 months ago or something?
I didn't think
mean-
it was that long ago, but you know what?
Well, Kristi,
I-
Google immediately.
I
We
don't
need
think
to
it's
know.
that important.
We need to know
Well,
these
just
things.
ask the chat. They know these kinds of things.
No, it is because I'm actually genuinely interested now. Because
No, the chat will
if my
figure it out.
memory's wrong, I'd like to know. The chat knows shit.
I'm running the sound, the
Jesus.
video, the live stream, checking the chat, and you want me to Google? Use your phone.
Yes, dance for me, monkey boy, dance.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of that, like it did seem like it was just an off the cuff comment that he made during a different show, because he was talking to Barry Weiss, wasn't he? At the time,
The singer,
not Barry White.
Barry White. Yeah. Never mind.
The IDW auteur, or the person who chronicles the IDW. I think she was on his show, and it came up, and he said it, and then Bernie's
Yeah, the big
people
black
took
guy
it,
with the deep voice. Yeah.
and he clipped it from there. I think that was a timeline, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that. I'm just gonna move right on by.
Yeah, please
Okay.
do. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, the chat's failing us, so we're just gonna move on because it's not that important. Anyway, moving on.
There's also the
Mad.
extremely hot take that Bernie Bros are Gamergate 2.0. There's like a million tweets about Gamergate, Bernie Bros are Gamergate. By the way, I didn't make this. That's so
No, when I was-
horrifying.
Yep.
Well, no, I just wanted to point this out, just in case anyone thinks this was connected to the Peter Coffin thing. I don't think it is, because a lot of these are dated before he said anything. So, like, clearly this was a thing that I wasn't aware of that people were making a connection to.
No, I didn't see that
Yeah.
either. I mean, I can only go by what's on my timeline, but I think she went looking for stuff, if I'm honest.
Mm.
This didn't just show up. She had to
Well,
dig through to get
she
my
says that
tweet.
she didn't create the. She didn't. Well, yeah, she didn't look for this particular composite image because she literally says, "I didn't find this." So she says that I didn't create this, so I'm
Yeah.
crying, which is funny.
That is pretty funny. By the way, the chat came through.
But
Orion,
it is minus hippers, which is
you sad.
is a shame.
had the-
Missed opportunity.
Yes. By the way, the chat
Missed
came through.
opportunity.
Orion in the chat gave the date the 6th of August of 20. Wait, where to go? 2019. Yeah.
So 6 months ago, yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Oof.
Kevin, you are the right one.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought my memory was going in old age.
Yeah. Also, someone said here, Bernie went on Fox, Pete and Tulsi went on Fox, and nobody cared and pretended. Bernie, basically, then nobody got mad about that because it wasn't the issue. The issue was his campaign tweeting out Rogan. That was always the issue. So, straw man. And yeah, the Sargon thing is funny. Okay, anyone else on that? Curiosity, you're unmuted. No, you are.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay, that's fine.
what she's talking about. So
Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna try to get to the end.
Gamergate 2.0, but now Gamergate 2.0 is Bernie Bros. Gamergate's back, guys, and this time they want to give you healthcare and stop forever wars. Spooky shit, man! Watch out! So yeah,
Dang,
this is
girl,
just the
you're
dumbest thing
peeking.
ever.
Oh.
I was going to make it a big scripted video, but then I was like, no, Just throw it on Brainlet, just rant, just scream, just
be mad.
go off. So I went off. I am left-wing. I consider myself left-wing. My channel is a left-wing space. You are invited.
Oh, wait. What was that? I'm sorry. What was that? Did she just say her channel was a left-wing space? Oh, well, she's right. No, it's a space that she thinks she's left-wing in. I'll say that much. Anyone else? Okay.
Wing space. Hello, this is home. You are all my guests to my little house, my little left-wing space. You are allowed here. We are allowed to talk about issues. You are allowed to ask questions and learn more shit.
But not on Twitter, because she'll block you.
Yeah.
You ask questions there, she will block you.
When you ask her the question about her racism apology video, she blocks you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, you're not allowed to ask questions about Gamergate, though, or about
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, or you can ask certain questions.
Yeah.
Like, why is feminism like a religion? You could ask that question.
Yeah, you can ask, is the wage gap a total myth made up by internet snowflakes? That question you can ask. Yeah.
How progressive.
Yeah, that's the left wing space where you can ask these kind of left wing questions.
I love my sardonic sort of ennui is creeping into Christianity's soul through osmosis.
I think you should just gave you shivers in your whatever you just said. What was it? I can't even remember now. Anyway, I
don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is gibberish.
Yeah, well, it's like midnight my time, and I've been running this whole show for like an hour and a half now, so my brain is.
Well, I did the first 58 minutes.
You did.
Before my computer decided to be a cunt.
That's true. I'm not blaming you. I'm just describing the situation. Okay.
No, I'm blaming my computer.
Oh, okay, but not your internet.
And then it decided to go fucking mental. Anyway.
All right, hitting play.
In the comments about shit, we are allowed to fight and disagree because that's what building a coalition is. Bernie's whole thing is like, oh, we have to build a coalition of black people.
You build a coalition by fighting with people.
Yeah, hang on. So Kristi Winters, who, by the way, is one of the electors in a state that Trump won very narrowly last time, so maybe, is essential for Bernie to win in the general election. She's not part of your big tent because you just blocked her. Does she not count?
I am a very valuable Wisconsin voter.
You are. I mean, you shouldn't be because that's Canada, but apparently you are. So.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that she thinks she's big tent anything.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. She spent the entire time describing people with different opinions than she has as neurotic. Did she not notice that? Neurotic, crazy people who are awful and who know nothing and are authoritarian. I don't even know what. Like, come on. No.
The other thing, too, now that I've sat through 95% of it, is even though she says she's on the left, she never gives any of these people even a little bit of charity or even try to see their point of view or acknowledge anything that they said could have ever had any merit.
Because they're libtards. Oh no, that's the quiet bit. Oh yeah. No.
So it's just a little, again, it's kind of like, well, you say you want a big tent, but you're shouting at people, misrepresenting them, straw manning them, and also you even though they have valid points, you're completely unwilling to take them on in order to get your health care and ending forever wars. Which again, what you're saying is you're willing to throw everybody else under the bus to get what you want. And your argument is you guys are going to benefit from it too, which, although being true, doesn't negate the negativity that they continue to experience.
Yeah. It's not either or.
No, it's not.
You can also potentially have a decent government and not be complete pricks.
Yeah.
Well, that is possible.
What I want reductionist.
It's very easy, but it's possible.
But your comment about her being a what I want reductionist is very apt. And the more I think about it, the more I listen to her. Okay, we're going to get through this last minute of her shouting, and maybe she'll hit the bunny again.
gay people, straight people. Gamers rise up, basically. You want these,
Bunny.
bigots to stay in their little echo chamber, and you want to stay in your little echo chamber. And I don't understand how that's helpful at all, especially during an election. So, the good news is Bernie did not back down from this endorsement.
Oh, wait. There's an endorsement? What? Have we talked much about the endorsement for the last 17 minutes and 40 seconds? Oh, man. Okay, sorry. I interrupted. I'll keep going.
Thank the Lord. The goal of our
wrap
campaign is to build a multiracial, multi-generational movement that is large enough to defeat Donald Trump and the powerful special interests whose greed and corruption is the root cause of the outrageous inequality in America. Sharing a big tent requires including those who do not share every one of our beliefs, while always making clear that we will never compromise on our values.
Yep.
Unless they're liberals, in which case, fuck them. I think is the general message of this video. Yeah.
Yeah. If you supported Hillary last time,
we want a big tent. We want a big tent. We want a big tent, unless you disagree with Shoe, in which case, fuck off. He's a definite winning strategy. A country like America, yeah, that'll
super winning
pretty well.
Okay, last bit.
The truth is that by standing together in solidarity, we share the values of love and respect that will move us in the direction of a more humane, more equal world.
Now, I'm just going to point out that I saw a really powerful retort to that, which is, I am not a belief, I am a person, from somebody from the Human Rights Campaign.
Yeah. I mean, I did not... I think this is general pablum that is sent out by any...
campaign.
But Joe Biden's got some dumb shit like that as well.
Yeah. Everybody, we just love everybody. We're a big tent.
Oh,
Great.
Joe Biden put out a tweet about his trans inclusivity. That's what Jennifer Rubin went interesting or something, and then hashtagged and tagged in Bernie Sanders. I was like, Jennifer Rubin is stirring shit up on Twitter. What? She's got too much time on her hands, that woman. But yeah,
she's spinning plates of shit.
Yeah,
I do definitely think that I would hate to have to vote for Biden.
not my first choice.
Yeah, and I do think that Bernie is. If I didn't think that Bernie, at the end of the day, was a good candidate for trans people, for all of these different groups of people, I wouldn't vote for him. And I do continue to support him because I do believe that of the choices we have, none of which are perfect. I'm not Bernie or bust. I'm not anybody or bust. I want, none of these people are going to be as left as I am, because that's not what America is. And so I accept that and I make the compromises I do make, but I think Bernie has the goal of policies that are important for bringing trans people forward and would be a significant improvement by a lot over what we have, and is better than, in his public statements anyway, than other candidates are. But that's just... Yeah. So, vote for Bernie. But this wasn't.
But that's the thing. The big tent thing works as well in that within that confine, because if Bernie wins the primaries, he's going to have to win the vast majority of Biden supporters to win the general election. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of ideological difference between those groups of people, between Bernie supporters and Biden supporters. The fact that none of us like Biden particularly shows, but you're going to need those votes. That's just unavoidable. So shitting on everyone, either Sanders Warren supporters or Biden supporters or whatever, it is so unbelievably counterproductive.
I think there's a fantasy that, and I'm sorry to say it, that people who are in Bernie's tent have, because he does, there is a certain amount of passion for some people that go for him, and that is that, that he would definitely win. Right? He's definitely going to win. I am not convinced about any of that. Like, I know people who have said he's too socialist. I know people who are like, he wants this policy or this policy that is, so over the top and so out of the American comfort zone. Like, just because there are a lot of young people who are very passionate about it doesn't mean that that's going to necessarily win the entire election. So I don't think people should. I still think he can win. I just think that we have to be prepared for that and not have this crazy idea that everybody thinks Bernie is really awesome.
Yeah, if you're too left-wing in Massachusetts, places like Arizona or New Mexico or Texas or whatever that might swing, you got no fucking chance, really. Like, it's not. You're going to struggle to win some of the states that you're going to need to win. So I mean, I put it as a coin toss even between Trump and Bernie, just because they're going to run a really red scare, and I would say low-key anti-Semitic Bernie, which will have an effect.
I would agree. I mean, it's going to be a mud-filled Trump. Well, we know what Trump is like. We've seen him already. It'll be more of that, but tailored. So.
Well, he's got it's crazy Bernie, Bernie, like fucking hell.
Okay,
that's the level of political discourse. You used to get shit like Fourscore and whatever years ago.
7.
And all that shit, and and on this continent, such and such. That's a really high-flown rhetoric, awesome stuff. And now it's crazy Bernie and shifty Schiff and grab them by the pussy. America, you have sunk to lows here.
We know. We know.
No, my country has too, so I'm not trying to lord it over anyone because we're both fucked. Most of the Anglosphere is a bit fucked. But,
okay, when we end this video, I can put the speaker down for the rest of the night, so I'm hitting play.
Sharing a big tent requires including those who do not share every one of our beliefs. I always joke about, like, vote for Bernie to own the libs, but it just gets more clear every day that that's actually a real thing. So yeah, that was that.
Please don't tell people that.
Yeah, so basically you're saying I'm doing this to own the libs. Aren't the libs part of the group of people who don't share all your ideological positions, June?
The libs
so you've got a big tent for transphobes, but not for liberals. Okay, that's an interesting way of trying to win the Democratic nomination, is all I'll say.
Kristi, sorry, you were going to say something? I put a pineapple in my mouth because I thought you were going to talk.
No, it's fine. It just like
the pineapple.
No, sexy. You have to actually listen to the libs.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a liberal either, but you have to listen to them if you want their vote. I'm definitely not going to count on the right wing to vote for him.
Yeah.
60 odd million Americans voted for Hillary Clinton. The vast majority of those, and possibly a few more, are going to need to be voting for Bernie Sanders. So shitting on them is just a losing strategy.
I agree. All right, really the last 30 or 10 to 15 seconds now.
Let's just get through it.
All right, hold on. Speakers back up. Okay.
And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. And I will see you guys hopefully with a Shoe0nhead video next. I have something highly requested.
Oh, is it going to be your racism apology video, June?
Just had
Please
to get
make
this
that.
out
I
there.
want to watch that.
Bye.
I will definitely watch that live. I don't think she said she was up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
There we go. Hang on. There we go. Joe Rogan on leftist social retards and piranhas.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
the person we want in our big tent, not liberals.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going over great.
Well, great. That's fantastic. Thank you, YouTube, for once. Your recommendation of the next video was actually useful. Thank you.
That's true.
I mean, it's still pushing us towards right-wing guff, but it was actually worthwhile on this one occasion. Thank you.
I'll turn that off now. All right, you guys are gonna see behind the scenes and how it all works. That's the page for the show you guys are watching right now. We're watching us, watching you, watching us. How meta is that?
Indeed.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so we've come to the end of the show and tell part. It's also gone way longer than I thought it would. But yeah, do I want to have some closing thoughts on this? Yeah.
Yeah. 77 years on this continent, the nation brought forth a great podcaster called Joe Rogan and something libtards and social justice retards and piranhas.
Oh yeah, that.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go to the theater and get assassinated.
Yeah, I had it on the screen, but then the word was bothering me so much I had to take it off because it's just gross. But it does make the point. It is, you're right. The irony of that is quite delicious, if I'm honest. Just on the sort of, yeah, Joe Rogan's an okay guy, and he's going to support Bernie, and this is helping the left, and then there he is insulting people on the left.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so
and of course using incredibly ableist slurs.
Yes,
against
that's right.
That
was the thing that made me turn it off. Yeah, that was the thing that was bothering me. But anyway, so Kevin, we heard.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely. Yeah, the point was made.
Yes, Kristiosity.
Well, my kids are calling me, so I have to go in a second.
Yep.
But it's about dinner time here, so you know what they want.
Well, that will teach you to breed. You
I
disgust
and have
me,
wonderful
straight
little
people.
human
You
beings.
disgust
Yes.
me.
You know, I never knew Stefan Molyneux could be wrong about anything.
You should have let all of your eggs die.
Yeah. All right, that got dark. Anyway.
Yeah. So, but just really quick, yeah, I'm gonna pitch the show. So if you have to leave now, go ahead and drop out. But I'm gonna just tell people what's happening on the channel on Saturday night.
All right, sounds awesome. I will see you all then. Bye.
Bye. You're lovely. We adore you. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if I've mentioned. I think I have. I do D&D with Kristiosity and some other people on a Saturday night at a ridiculous hour for me. I think we start 11 p.m. My time. Sorry, I have to adjust something. So I'm moving away from the mic. I've been sat here for a while. I've been sat here since 9 o'clock, before even, and we're gonna stream them. So starting this week on my channel, we do it via Hangout anyway, and I will screen share, and you guys will be able to watch along. And so if you want to watch some kind of lefty people play D&D, join me on the channel on Saturday at 11 o'clock my time.
I'm glad we did this on your channel, not mine, because I don't want that kind of geekery infesting my space.
Well, yes, it's actually there's a lot of fun things and funny things that have happened, and I'm really happy. I mean, everyone was cool with doing it, but it was one more thing for Kristiosity to do when she was running the games, because she's our DM and she's wonderful at it. She's really good and thoughtful, and it's very intellectual. Her games, it's not all sort of like going and finding treasure. There's like mystery and quests and things we have to do. Anyway, and so I offered to do it. That was the story. I'm really, but it's not Titanic. Thanks to the chat. You guys had our back again tonight. That was great. We appreciate you. And I made Objectively Subjective a mod as well. So awesome. Cool. Do you have anything else?
Well, I've got some exciting things coming up.
Yeah.
I've got Let Them Eat Cake tomorrow night, 7 p.m. my channel. It was one of the things I used to fill the air while I was trying to get Skype to work. So it's already advertised on my channel. Anyway, so that's 7 p.m. tomorrow night with Mike, going through all the fash goings on from the Januaries of 2020s. Then I've got my next Descent of Manosphere is hopefully going to be up at the weekend at some point, and technically Saturday morning here for me. Oh shit, I've totally forgotten. Mrs. Snarky. Anyway, I'm going to be on with Mrs. Snarky on the Objectively Subjective channel.
Oh, I don't need to screen share.
Well, exactly. It's Saturday at 2 a.m. for me, which is like Friday night.
That's when I did it too. Yeah. That was my hour as well. Oh, that'd be fun though. They're great. That was a lot of fun. I would love to be back on if they'll ever have me. I talked a lot.
All right, well, stay in your fucking lane. I'm next. Jesus, trying trying to bum rush my appearances
Well,
and
I
shit.
saw you do it, and I was like, well, damn it. He put me to the post because that's cool. So it took a while, but
Well, I
finally
know
got on.
all of the cool people.
Well,
So,
you know, yeah, you know a lot of the cool people.
oh, hang on, who don't I know? Who don't I know?
I'll tell you off air. No,
Okay.
I'm just being provocative. Yeah, so
I
check
don't know
out.
Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's
No.
awesome. So,
Unlike you, unlike Shoe, who is working with Joe Rogan to expand the left. You're not.
they're the leftist pipeline, yeah.
Yeah. A pipeline to the left. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so go and check out Kevin's show tomorrow night and his appearance. Do you know whose channel it's on?
Objectively subjective.
Yes, okay, get the right, make sure
Yeah.
it's right.
And like I say, Descent of Manosphere, I've made progress, so hopefully that'll be out the weekend, which will be good.
And,
Well, I say it'll be good. Maybe it'll be total shit. I'll leave that for you to decide.
be kind. Give him a like. Yeah, and as for me, I'm going to be spending tomorrow making a video on copyright law.
Boring.
Which I probably will not put up until the series is done. But anyway, and I've kind of threatened to do some sort of June video, but now we've done a whole happy hour, 2 technically, because it was a part 1.
Yeah,
part
you don't
2.
really need to.
I don't think I need to. Yeah. I think
No.
I've got it out of my system now. Also, it was really funny when she called me Karen Summer. Oh, how childish.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for people watching, and again having our back, especially Orion, who's always our basically like voice command, Google search for facts and catching us out too. You guys do that. Yeah. And so the next time maybe we'll be back on my channel. I don't know. We'll have to see where the tech goes. But until then, from Kevin's restarted computer, I want to say thanks to my host Kevin. Thanks people in the chat for watching. People in the future for watching all the way to the end. I've been Kristi. You guys have been awesome. As goodbye from me and goodbye from Kev. Kevin, say bub 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 bub. No, you have to do it like Chris Sargon did in one go. Wow, you did that's quite the bit.
Sargon.
That was a
Indeed.
Sargon. All right, you guys, that was a bit. Bye.